It's important to understand the costs involved before starting your own flock. Chickens can be relatively low-maintenance animals, but they still have certain needs that must be met to keep them healthy and happy. In this article, we'll break down the main costs associated with raising chickens, as well as some potential savings that can be had from having your own flock. The first and most important cost to consider is housing for your chickens. Chickens need a safe and secure place to live. Whether it's a coop or a chicken tractor, coops can range in price from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the size and materials used. If you're handy with tools and want to save some money, you can also build your own coop. But make sure that it meets the chicken's needs, for example, protection from predators, enough space per chicken, ventilation, and so on. Another important cost is feed for your chickens. Chickens need a balanced diet that includes a combination of grains, protein, and greens. Feed can be purchased in bulk, or as individual bags, and costs can vary depending on the type of feed, the brand, and the location. You can also consider raising your own insects, such as black soldier flies, or growing your own greens. This way you can reduce the cost of feed. In addition to a coop and feed, you'll also need to purchase other equipment such as waterers, feeders, and bedding materials. These can be purchased or made by hand. Waterers and feeders can be found at your local farm supply store, and bedding materials can be found at a home improvement store. Chickens can also be prone to certain diseases and parasites, so it's important to have a vet who can provide vaccinations and care when needed. This can vary depending on your location and the size of your flock, but it's something to keep in mind as an ongoing cost. If you want to raise your own chicks, you'll also need to invest in an incubator or brooder. Incubators can range in price from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the size and features. Brooders can also be purchased or made by hand, but make sure that it meets the chick's needs. For example, the temperature, the size, and so on. While there are costs associated with raising chickens, there are also potential savings to be had. One of the most obvious savings is the cost of eggs. Chickens will lay eggs which can be used for eating or sold. Additionally, chicken manure is a great fertilizer for gardens, so it's a good way to save on fertilizer costs. Chickens will also eat insects and other pests in your garden, which can help to control them naturally. In conclusion, raising chickens can be a relatively low-cost hobby, but it's important to have a clear understanding of the costs involved before starting a flock. Keep in mind that costs can vary depending on your location and the size of your flock. However, by being smart about the coop and feed, and by considering the potential savings, you can make raising chickens a cost-effective hobby.